CPC, we gon' give you hope with Buhari. Tell your mama, tell your papa, for good education and our economy. Enough you have before, we go do our again.
Nigeria, the giant in the sun, the most populous black nation in the world and the pride of Africa. No one can doubt that at the beginning of creation, Nigeria was made and molded to be a beautiful nation of unbelievable monuments, meandering rivers, breathtaking waterfalls, a land endowed with the plateau, the savanna, the Sahara, and the very deep jungle. Just like the landscape, Nigeria hosts some of the most colorful tribes in the entire world. A nation where the Bata drummers of the Yorubas compares easily with the Swangis of the Thieves. The energetic Atilogu of the Igbos is an exercise in human pyrotechnics. A land where the high falsetto chants of the Fulanis tickles the Jala chants of the Yoruba hunters. As the nomads of the north tend to their flocks, you see the fishermen of the Niger Delta reaching into the depth of the creeks to satisfy their seafood's culture. It's almost unbelievable how a land this endowed by nature can be buffeted by leadership challenges. The colonial experience created a very weak foundation for the building of the Nigerian nationhood. The amalgamation of different tribes in 1914 to make up the entity called Nigeria has been described by many as a marriage of strange bedfellows. At independence in 1960, it was apparent that the foundation for this great nation was shaky. No wonder the experience of the last 50 years has been a strange mixture of military interregnum and shaky democratic republics. Today, Nigeria suffers from a cancerous level of leadership, poverty, corruption, ethnicity, religious bigotry, intercommunal strife, unemployment. Armed robbery has taken an IT dimension into cybercrime, drug trafficking, child trafficking, kidnapping, mindless affluence, etc. In this country, some people are richer than the central bank. Today, we are at the threshold of the Fourth Republic, and Nigerians will troop out once again to stake their future on new leaders. Never has the need for a radical change of political choice been desirable like today. Nigerians must, by their votes in 2011, draw back this nation from the precipice of being a failed state.
CPC, CPC, CPC.
In this dispensation, when you see a logo depicting a flag with a pen slashed across it, representing knowledge and enlightenment, then you are sure looking at the logo of the most disciplined political party in Africa. A party that is about to shoulder the responsibility of leading Nigeria into its destiny on the African and world stage. The founding fathers of CPC are very clear about the level of problems bedeviling the nation and the solution to ameliorate such problems. One major factor responsible for the rise of the CPC to the pinnacle of Nigeria's political reckoning is the fact that its founding fathers are men of undisputed integrity, whose reach into all communities in the nation by virtue of their public and political antecedent enable them to attract the best human resources Nigeria is endowed with. The CPC at its national primaries voted General Muhammadu Buhari and Pastor Tunde Bakare as its presidential flag bearers. It was a most unprecedented partnership in the history of politicking in Nigeria. It's a celestial signal on the positive change that is about to descend on Nigeria.
The only party that has done what CPC is doing in the history of Nigeria is the Action Group. Action Group was formed in 1951 and went on to win elections 5 months after. That is what CPC is bringing to Nigeria once again. And what we saw in the past that we thought was consigned to the dustbin of history, of a political party without money, galvanizing, mobilizing our people, that we thought was dead, that is what CPC has brought back to Nigeria. All over Nigeria today, east, north, west, and south, the typhoon of change, the hurricane of change, represented by General Buhari and Pastor Bakare, is sweeping all over the country with millions of people. And nobody is being paid to come to our rallies. Nobody has been paid to come here today. I think it was Pastor Bakare who said a few months ago that in 2011 elections, money is going to fail.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the CPC's election manifesto, which sets out our election promises and plans for action. Its central and urgent message is that as Nigerians, we must restructure the country and change our ways. And in this, there is an invitation to each and every one of us to come forward and join the struggle, so that together we take the destiny of this nation in our hands and change it into a united, prosperous, caring, truly democratic federal republic. But before we will be able to do this, we must secure and manage, govern the country in a way that releases the energies and potentialities of our people and directs these to wholesome ends. Given this direction is what CPC government is here to do in order to arrest the nation's aimless drift. Ladies and gentlemen, in its 12 years of misgovernance, the government of the People's Democratic Party has bastardized the nation. In all this period, it has done very little that is right, even less that is proper, and nothing intrinsically useful to be cost-effective. It was as if they only came to pauperize the nation, and it could be said that during their time, the only places that prospered were the cemeteries and the bank accounts of the thieving elite. People in their thousands died due to poverty, hunger, disease, and violent crises and violent crimes, as custodians of the nation's resources smiled their ways to the banks. The wealth which would have alleviated the people's poverty, the food which would have satiated their hunger, and money for drugs which would have restored them to health, and the resources for maintenance of law and order which would have ensured the security of the land, have all been siphoned by this insensitive leadership.
The Buhari-Bakare campaign kicked off nationwide on the 2nd of March 2011. People say seeing is believing, and the following pictures beamed into your homes and offices will tell the tale vividly. They will confirm the Congress for Progressive Change is indeed phenomenal. One remarkable factor in this campaign trail is the fact that it was run totally on shoestrings and the barest meager resources. These were largely contributed by volunteers and the average Nigerians. It is also noteworthy that for the first time in Nigeria electioneering campaign, no attempt was made to rent a crowd or to facilitate the movement of people coming to the campaign venues. Okada riders, farmers, taxi drivers, small-scale business owners, and even unemployed and long-suffering men and women surmounted all obstacles to stand up and be counted in the new quest for a new Nigeria. It was very humbling to see hundreds of people breaking security cordons and besieging airport tarmacs just to get a glimpse of the people's hero, Muhammadu Buhari. In Kano, after sitting in the vehicle for over 1 hour, the campaign train had to withdraw because the pressure of the human mass was mind-boggling. Sometimes emotions boil over at campaign venues and you see people weeping openly, unashamed.
Aha! This is not Congress for Progressive Change. This project is sponsored by Alhaji Nasiru Danu, the National Ex-Official Congress for Progressive Change, in collaboration with the Cosmic Classic Group of the Niger Delta. Make the right choice.